I'm making a retro dish from the 1950s and 60s called Salisbury steak, but I'm going to elevate it and have it made with a red wine sauce and sauteed cremini mushrooms. You just won't believe how delicious this is going to be, and it only takes about 30 minutes to make. Please enjoy the video, and you'll find the ingredients listed below in the description box, and you're going to find the full recipe at Diane's World Cooking on Facebook. Thanks for watching.
Dice half of a large onion really small and divide it in half. You'll also want to have 4 garlic cloves minced really fine, and you'll divide that in half. Place in a medium-sized bowl half of the garlic and half of the chopped onion. Then you're going to add your beef to it. You're going to also season this with some salt and pepper. I have about 1.25 pounds of ground beef. It's about a 93%. Try and use either kosher salt or sea salt because they both give the best flavors and they're pure. Now you want to mix this up really well. Make sure it's totally distributed with the onion and the garlic and all of the spices. So you're going to be ready to make your patties now. So I divide it into 4. You're going to get 4 servings, and I want to turn them into 1 large meatball, and then I flatten the meatball, and that makes a really nice patty. After you finish your Salisbury steaks, just put them aside, and now you're going to want to start sauteing your mushrooms and making your beautiful red wine sauce. I have 10 ounces of cremini mushrooms, and that's actually a small portobello. I always like to wash my mushrooms in a cold water bath. They really accumulate a lot of dirt, although it's sterilized soil, but I still like to do this. I use paper towels just to clean them up a little bit more, all those little spots that don't come clean. You can see how dirty the water was. Now I'm going to slice them in about a 1/2-inch piece. Don't forget, a mushroom will always shrink as it's cooking, and so you want to make them a little bit thicker than you would think. Now you'll want to get a good large saute pan, and you're going to add 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, and you're going to melt that on about a medium-high heat. You're going to then start sauteing your Salisbury steaks. So add them to the pan and cook them for about 3 minutes on either side. They're going to keep cooking later on too. You could use olive oil to start sauteing them, but later on you will need some butter to make the really wonderful red wine sauce. Flip your Salisbury steaks after about 3 minutes of cooking. You'll see a beautiful golden brown color on them. After you've cooked them for 3 minutes on each side, take them out of the pan and just place them on a plate. But don't clean out that pan because you're going to use it. And that flavor on the bottom there is going to be wonderful. That's called the foundation. Now add 1 more tablespoon of the unsalted butter to the pan and let that melt. And now we're going to cook our onions until they're soft and golden. I have about 10 ounces of beef broth, and I'm adding about 1 tablespoon of flour to that, and I'm going to mix it really well. This is going to thicken up your sauce, but later on I did add more. So there's my garlic. You only really need to cook that garlic for about 1 more minute. You'll want to add the mushrooms to the pan now and mix them up really well with the sauteed garlic and onion. Really coat them and make sure you cook them for at least 5 minutes till they're browned on either side. Now it's time to add that red wine to the pan. Now add your beef broth that has the flour in it and give it a quick mix because the flour will sink to the bottom. This is going to be your thickener, and you're going to pour this in and bubble it up and cook it for about another 5 minutes. I found it wasn't quite thick enough, so I took some of that sauce out and added it to about 1 more tablespoon of flour and mixed it in. Adding a little bit of this mixture really helped the sauce later on, and it thickened up just the way I liked it. Now you want to cook this for about 5 more minutes because the flour really has to cook in that sauce. It'll be too raw if you don't do that. I'm adding the Salisbury steaks right back into the pan, and I'm going to coat them with all of that beautiful mushroom sauce. And I'm going to flip them over, make sure I have sauce on both sides. I'm going to cover my pan because I really want to make sure they cook thoroughly. And now I want to season them, now that they're done, with some ground black pepper and some kosher or sea salt. Always do this at the end of your cooking. These are looking so good, and now it's time to serve. They're pretty hearty, so you can serve one per person, or you could do two, depending on someone's appetite. And make sure they get plenty of that mushroom sauce. I would probably serve these with some mashed potatoes or maybe some roasted potatoes and a really nice vegetable like maybe broccoli or asparagus or string beans. It's time for me to do my taste test, and every time I have these, I can't believe how wonderful they are. So here I go, and it's never a disappointment, I'll tell you. There's such wonderful flavors in this with that red wine and the mushrooms. I hope you get to make these really soon. I think you're really going to love them. Thanks a lot for watching.